You have access to an infinite palette of energy and expression. Your creative heart is the key, and your life is the canvas of your soul. Hello. Okay, I want to invite you into a painting meditation, a painting meditation practice. I want to share with you a painting that I've been meditating with this morning and inspire you to explore this way of dropping into your own silence, into the gap. This is how this painting meditation began, and the shape of this swoosh reminded me of perhaps like the dip before the rise, the evolution of humanity. And a theme that's been coming up is how to harness the gap, which this white line illustrated for me. Okay, so these are the notes I've written in my journal. I'm traveling right now, but I have a painting journal that you can purchase on Amazon to capture your insights and ahas. So I want to share with you what I've written down just to give you an idea of how this works. So as you paint, I recommend playing lovely instrumental music, kind of meditative, instrumental music. I'll list some of my favorites in the notes below as you paint. And as the ahas come to you, just write them down in your journal or in your painting journal that I created for you. So the first thing I wrote down after doing the first layer, which you can kind of see underneath, is I took black paint and a thin brush, and I just held the brush at the very end so that it was loose, and I did this black scribbly line all over the canvas. And then I got inspired to paint, to bring out the edges of the lines, right, with another layer of color so that you would notice the intersection and notice the relationship. And so these points of connection, these nexus points, I wrote down, I love the nexus points. They are the points of intersection, connection, relationship, synergy, union, aha. Like when two things come together, it forms something totally new. It creates new space, right? And then I do this so much in my paintings. Like I love to blur the boundaries, blur the edges, like having this edge here and then have it just fade into the background, right? So sometimes it's like energy echoing, even putting the dots or these circles kind of creates softness to the edges. I love circles. Oh my gosh, I'm always painting circles, which are a symbol of unity and oneness. I love contrast, like the underlying chaos as compared to the kind of the order that you can create in the second layer by covering up some of the background, but allowing some to show through. And then I got really excited when this triangle formed here. And I wrote down that triangles are powerful. And then this white line you see here is the negative space. So that's the background, and I drew the pink on either side. So the negative space, I didn't draw that line, I drew the background of that line. So that's called negative space. But there's this whole teaching that we were just exposed to called the gap, that it's the gap between actions, between breaths, between the gap, like in a relationship when it isn't feeling right. It's not, you don't know whether to go forward with it or to back out of it. There's a gap. You're being called to pause It's in those gaps that we become uncomfortable, and then we tend to try and escape the gaps, distract ourselves. But actually, the mind, the highest role of the mind is to guide you into the gaps, because that's where the ahas, the strokes of insight, the quote unquote genius comes from. So anyway, all of this from just doodling on the canvas. So I can't wait to hear about your own painting meditation experiences. It's not about painting a thing. It's about allowing color and form and vibration to inspire that inner self. It guides you into the gap, into the non-doing of doing. And from there you will harness great treasure. My life's work, my passion is to help remind you that life is meant to be lived as art. You are the artist. And we've gotten distracted from that by this go, 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 do, 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 very linear way of living. And that's perfect. We've learned through contrast. So allow the painting practice, just putting color onto paper or canvas to guide you into your innermost knowing and your deepest wisdom. I would love to support you on this journey. See you at the canvas. Here is the dragonfly as it continues to evolve.